The Third Watch News update is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. Okay, we're going to get right to the Third Watch, and we're looking at space weather. And this storm system that has been moving across the United States has been moving very slow. Now it is arrived to the East Coast. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in and look at images. This is in our region, and we're feeling the storm and also the cold front coming from behind. And this is what to look for in the next couple of days. And again, that's the area it affects. So let's go ahead and look back to other storms throughout the United States, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. These images are from ABC 11, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in. This is right there. Okay, so somewhere in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and also Raleigh. This image up here is from Raleigh, North Carolina. Some more images here of flooding as we zoom in. So you can see where the water's crusting. Okay, so let's stop there, and we're going to talk about the flood conditions because it's a slow-moving system. So these are the images from April 29th, 2017 to the present. This was Missouri last week. These were the conditions in St. Louis County. Again, more images. And then we're going to go ahead and go into Branson, Missouri here. And we're just going to go ahead and let the tape roll. We're going to go into Arkansas here. So I'm going to zoom into these images. And you can see these interstates are now rivers. Okay, and we're going to go ahead into Arkansas here in the next image. And you can see how widespread that is going across and up. And again, in St. Louis County. Zoom in it. Okay, so we wanted to talk about space weather, and that's what we do at the Third Watch Update. So we're looking at a couple factors. Collapsing magnetosphere, more cosmic debris, increasing clouds, and also volcanism. That might explain the temperature drop, because you're going to see also on the West Coast, we don't have the image right now, but just to give you a better view of what that looks like here in the solar map, galactic cosmic rays are responsible for increasing cloud formation on Earth during grand solar minimums. And that is a satellite image of United States. And that's the storm system right there in the middle. Okay, so you can go ahead and look through this, but there are other videos I've watched, and we've studied this for about 5-6 years, waiting to see a system that not quite, when you're in it, it's a lot different. When you're waiting to see it approach, it's way different. I could see how maybe people would be disillusioned by the storm system. If you're not prepared, I guess you're not worried. What concerns me is all this information we've been following about the collapsing of the magnetosphere really plays into the solar minimum and the solar winds and radiation levels, because they are tracking the radiation levels, and those radiation levels are pretty high. And what that means is it doesn't have to be sunny out to be affected by the solar radiation, the solar rays, the radiation coming from it. So it's really, really important to people who are out in the sun now to understand how strong the sun is, because you don't have that protection anymore that you once did, meaning you're going to get direct hits. And they have noticed, like, I think this was like in the beginning of April, the increase in sunburns. I mean, and we're not talking about typical sunburn, okay? So that kind of concerns us, that people are not prepared. They're not looking at the sun and saying, okay, it's a sunny day, but it's a different type of system. It's a different type of weather event, and altogether a different season. Weather that you might think it's pretty out, but then you think, okay. And I was taking photographs of the auroras and the colors, and it's going to be something that you can actually see in my region, which is almost a rarity. I mean, it is a rarity to see auroras. And when it starts to look like that pinkish color, that was told to us by people who study the weather map, space weather, that this is something you need to pay attention. It looked very beautiful, but it's really important that you pay attention, because the pinker, the redder it is, the more chargeable particles, and we're breathing that in. Okay. What also concerns me, why I'm even doing this update and report, is because you'll notice that people are sicker in a different kind of way. And I've just noticed, just on my newsfeed, how many people have passed away in a very short time. That really sent me a few signals. I got to do this report, okay? And we followed Mike from around the world, and he predicted this like 2-3 years ago. We didn't see anything like it. In fact, you would have, I know people thought we were crazy. We were told on a regular basis, oh, you're just crazy. But, well, now we're in it, and this is what we were concerned about. And I don't know how well prepared anybody could be for this. Because even now, I mean, thank God we have a mental picture of what's going on now. But I don't know what that means. I mean, I can tell that this could wear down people very quickly. I mean, you're talking about 2-3 weeks of weather like this, and then you had last week the 2 EF5 tornadoes in Canton, Texas. Now you got the Louisiana. A lot of that area is, affected by the flooding, and we're just talking about over a period of time what that weather can do, how it wears people down. So we're hoping that by doing these reports, it'll give you an ability to see a better picture, and looking at the satellite image here, that you have a better picture of what these storm systems can cause and what to do next time this happens. And while people are going to be cleaning up and they can go about living their life, they have to make sure that watching this space weather is really important. It's different. It's not just looking at the weather changes, because it can change so quickly. The conditions now, to be prepared for the weather we have now, it could change in a day. I mean, we're talking about temperature drops because of the collapsing of the magnetosphere, because of the atmospheric compression. That is really key. That explains why people are getting sicker and recently dying. The atmospheric compression is very key, because the less oxygen we have and the less protection we have from that cosmic debris can absolutely affect things on the Earth's surface. That's what we've been taught, and it makes more sense. And the volcanism part is one we haven't even gotten to touch, but explains the extreme temperature drops. So these are the things you need to watch as we go forward. Now, we'll do updates, but I want you to just know, whatever information we have in the description box, please study it. The Third Watch update at Planet Radio is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. Thank you for listening to this broadcast here at Third Watch Update and Planet Radio. We have a lot more up next at the Court of Public Opinion this Sunday, so stay tuned for that too. Thank you. You can also find updates in our description box below. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Planet Radio. Thank you.